Hey everybody, we are so excited for our guest. And before we introduce her, I just want to let you know who's coming next week. We have Adi Yeshaya coming in. He's arranged for many artists, including Prince, Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Lena Horne, Doc Severinsen, Burt Bacharach, the Minnesota Orchestra, and more. He's just a fabulous person, a great guy, a pianist, arranger, and composer. So he's going to be here next week. And I'm so thrilled, and I know you all are so thrilled with our guest today. Debra Byrd has been a friend of ours for years. She is an extraordinary person who coaches vocalists in music, television, and film. She's coached singers such as Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood, Jennifer Hudson, Annie Lennox, Bette Midler, and hundreds of other singers for The Voice, American Idol, and many other TV shows. Byrd is currently a vocal coach on NBC's The Voice, and she is an artist in residence at Berklee College of Music in Boston, and she is also the chair of the vocal department at Musicians Institute. So welcome, Byrd. Thank you for coming on this week.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I just want our audience to know that we would love your comments and we would love questions for Byrd as we're continuing that as we proceed through the discussion. If there's any particular questions you have, feel free to comment below this video and I will give those questions to Byrd. So Byrd is here to talk with us about auditioning. She has incredible experience in this area. And Byrd, what would you like to discuss with us today? We only have about a half hour. Where could you guide singers and just get them headed down the right path?
Okay. Because a half hour, because our time is so short and it moves quickly, as I'm speaking, I would like all of you to think of questions you'd like to ask. Because it's crucial. Auditioning is an art form in itself. So I want to challenge each and every one of you and ask the question. I want you, as you're listening to me, I want you to think of everything you've posted. You know you've posted things, right? And I want you to think about it. My challenge is for you to look at everything that you've ever posted, making sure that you have enough light on your face, making sure that you do not make excuses. This is my favorite. Hi, everybody. I'm going to sing this song I just learned, and I hope you like it. I may forget the words, but I hope you like it. Don't do it. Okay? Learn the song, know the song before you post anything. Making excuses is not a good thing. Because of the way of the world today. The way of the world today is everything is online. So people are looking for you that way. Agents are looking. TV shows are looking. You may want to submit something to a TV show, but make sure that you make no excuses because no one cares. So that means so far we've got lighting, we've got no excuses, and also pay attention to what's around you. Pay attention to what you're submitting. I've had people submit their band, them performing with their band. Maybe it's a rehearsal, that's fine, but make sure that the camera is focused on you. If you've got a wonderful band, it's hard to tell where the focus is. There's a young lady that submitted an audition and she used her live band. The band was wonderful. However, the person who shot her video was off to the side, which means that if you think in terms of being in the audience, watching a band, and the person is off to the side filming the video, the unfortunate thing is that the focus was on the backup singer. So if you looked at the video and you don't know any of these people, you would have thought it was the young lady singing backup and it was hers and you're just waiting for her to do something. Really pay attention to making sure that you are the focus. There was another young lady who sent her audition to me, and she was playing with her dad and her brother in her basement. Lovely, great lighting. However, everything was focused on her dad because of the way it was shot, the camera angle. Be careful of how you're angled so that you are the focus. Another thing is making sure that you're not too far away. Whoever's shooting you is not so far away that we can't see you. There's a young lady who's a bass player who sings. Lovely lady, very talented. She had a great vision. She put herself in an empty room, which was all white. She had on all black. Playing bass, great bass. She was kicking butt, playing it, but you couldn't see her. She was too far back. So there are a lot of things you have to take into consideration. Another thing, camera angles. Make sure that your angle, that your camera, your computer, your phone, your iPad, whatever it is, do not sit it down below you. Anything shot here up is not flattering at all for anybody, for anyone. It's just not flattering. So make sure that you do not have your camera angle straight down. It should be at eye level. Whether you're standing or sitting, make sure your camera is at eye level so that you look as if you're speaking to or singing to the person who is watching you. There's a young man, I worked on Canadian Idol for 6 seasons. Great singing young man. He caught me on Facebook, because I'm rarely on Facebook, and he said, Byrd, I'm going to upload my new song. Please have a look at it. And I went, oh boy, I gotta look at it. And I love this young man. So I looked at it. And it was pretty bad. He sang great. No, he didn't. He forgot the lyrics. That's what it was. And so also his camera angle was not good at all. However, it was shot very clearly. There was great clarity. And I said, okay, I got to find the good things to say to him. And I mentioned to him how clear his video was. Great background, the whole 9 yards. And then I said, where was your camera? Where did you have your camera located? His camera, he used his phone, and it was sitting on the bed. Now, mind you, his head looked like it was about this size. Quick, quick. That's what it made me want to do when I saw it. Quick, 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 just squish it. So his head was this size. His hands were humongous because of the camera angle, okay? And I didn't bring it up, but he had a little bit of a tummy. So you get tummy and hands, and the head, quick, quick. Now that is not flattering for anybody, okay? Not one soul. So now I tried to find the good, and when he asked me, I said, okay. I said, and because he was on Canadian Idol, on television, I said, did you not learn anything from being on television? He said, what do you mean? I said, first of all, you forgot the lyric and you apologized in the middle of it. And I said, take it down. And I told him about the cricket and the hands look like that. What's that dinosaur? Is that a T-Rex? What is it with the, that's what he looked like. So pay attention to what you post. Now, if you're unsure of it, have someone you trust. Maybe it's an instructor. Have them double check you before you post any of this madness. We always remember people who are excellent when they audition, and we also remember the people who suck when they audition. You don't want to be the one that sucks. You don't want that to be you. You want to be the one that people go, oh, what a great video. Let me subscribe and let me see what else they've got. What else have they posted? You want to be that guy that people want to see more and more and more. And don't just post stuff to be posting it. Because I know most people are of the generation of, oh, I gotta post something right now. And with TikTok and everything, you want to post all of these cool things that you're doing, and you think people want to see you eating, what you're eating, and getting your nails done, and what your feet look like. You want to make sure that what you post has great musical value. Mm-hmm. Great music value. You want to perform well. You want to sing well. You want to look great. You want to present yourself with excellence. That's my word, excellence. In all things that you do, be excellent. And if you're going to post something and you're doubting it, like I said, ask someone, ask an instructor. Your parents are going to love you no matter what you post. They may not be the best judge unless your parent is a musician. If your parent is a musician or an instructor, they'll have a different eye. But listen, I worked on American Idol for more than 10 years, and there were many people who thought their kids were talented, and they weren't. Okay? So that's a whole other thing. That's a whole different thing. And I can't see, but does anyone have any questions about all of that?
Yes, I actually have the first question, but we do have another question on there. My first question, this comes up a lot. If you have stuff out there already that's not desirable, how should you pull it down? Should you keep some stuff? Should you show growth? Should you show, okay, I was okay, but now I've gotten a lot better. I've worked really hard. What is your opinion there?
3 words. Take it down.
Okay.
And let me tell you why. People don't know that you're logging your growth. They see, oh, this young lady is great. She's got the right look. Oh, she's singing Mary Had a Little Lamb. Wow, I'm going to use that. Let me check out Mary Had a Little Lamb. They don't know that that's your growth trajectory. They just know, gee, Mary Had a Little Lamb was awful. That's all they know. So you don't want, I wouldn't suggest your trajectory. I mean, if you're doing it, keep it private, send it to someone else, send it to a teacher, and between the 2 of you log your growth. Because it is a study, but when you post online, it goes to the world. And you want to show your excellence to the world, and nothing less than that. So that would be my suggestion.
Okay, great. I have some other questions for you.
Okay.
One, this is actually from my sister Angie, who says hello.
Angie, I love you, Angie.
Hey, she says she's going crazy. Amen to the camera angle and being important. The camera angle being important. I've learned that too. I think that becomes more important once you hit a certain age to have that high angle. So I totally hear you there. She has a question. She said, when auditioning for American Idol or The Voice, are there songs or genres to stay away from?
Wow, what a great question. The genre you should use is the one that is yours. For instance, if you're a country singer, be that. If you're a rock guy, rock girl, be that. So that means you have to figure out what you are. That's the hard part. It's like, oh, what am I? If you're an R&B hip hop kid, be that. Because why do I say that? It's because it's honest, and because it's true. When you're watching Matt and I, we have both auditioned singers for American Idol. I've auditioned singers for both American Idol and The Voice. And we can tell when you're not honest. And that reads through the camera. So you should have the genre that's truest to you. Now, there are people who can be in many genres, but for the beginnings, until people know who you are, pick a lane.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a lane, right? Thank you, Matt. Pick
I
a
thought,
lane.
I'd like to say one thing. I noticed when I was doing auditions, there's a tendency for singers to pick songs that are too big for them. You know, there's this misconception that the judges want to hear like everybody sounding like Jennifer Hudson or Carrie Underwood, and they pick these songs that there's just no way, they just don't fit their voice. So I think that goes with stay in your lane. You know, not only that, but pick a song that does your voice justice. You know, and you're not trying to be somebody else. Like, no, you're not going to outsing Fantasia. You're not going to, you know, unless you're Fantasia.
Not going to happen.
Right.
And another thing I'd like to say, no matter what the genre you choose, don't sing a ballad. The reason you don't sing a ballad is that there's too much room for error. You don't want to sing, and well, it's just too long. It's agonizing and nobody wants to hear it. So sing an up-tempo song, sing a mid-tempo song, sing something that people can tap their foot to, something that people will love, sing something that draws them in, sing something better than a ballad. Okay? Because you've just made everything hard for yourself. There was a young lady yesterday who told me she submitted her audition for The Voice. It's a remote audition. Of course, everything is online now. So she submitted her audition, and she told me that she was not accepted. And I'd never heard her sing. And I said, well, what did you sing? Song choice is key. She said, I chose I Believe I Can Fly. And I said, did you sing it slow? And she said, no, but I counted it off. I was like, that doesn't tell me anything. So now we're on the phone. We're not even looking at each other. We're on the phone. And I said, sing me the beginning of it. And she sang, okay, she got ready. She said, I believe I can fly. I was like, excuse me. That's why they said no. And she said, really? I said, I can tell already. Now, what you have to understand is if you are auditioning for any type of TV competition show, any of them, because there are a few of them now, you have to remember that we've heard everything. We've heard every type of singer, every style, every vibe, basically. You have to bring your excellence once again, because the people who are listening have heard it all before. Even if you're playing an instrument and singing, you still have to bring your excellence to both things, because you are competing with the person who won last. In addition to competing with all of the winners that have been on these shows, you're competing with the sound of Kelly Clarkson, the sound of Carrie Underwood, the sound of Jordan Smith, these Jordan Sparks. Anybody on any show, you are competing against them in their heads. So you have to bring it hardcore, and excellence is the word again. You got another question for me again, Beth?
Okay, I'm going to read these down. I've got a lot of comments. I have a few questions, so I read a question there. Hey there, amazing advice. I love this lady. Yes, Byrd is the greatest. We've got lots of comments. Come on, people, where's some more questions?
Did I answer all of Angie's?
I've got questions for you.
Okay.
Because we had talked about this in the past. What do you recommend as far as maybe a singer later in years and singer early in years? What do you think is some smart repertoire choices? I mean, maybe not, to date ourselves too much.
If we're speaking in terms of TV singing competition shows, because there's a whole different mindset for Broadway shows or for theater. There's a different mindset for that. I would say sing younger. That means, because I coached a young lady, and she wanted to sing, it was a song, I can't remember, but it was very old. And I said, you are severely dating yourself. Make sure that you can pick something that's a bit younger. And it also depends on how aged you are. Let me give you an example. There's a young lady at The Voice during the band rehearsal. She had been accepted, sings great. At band rehearsal, she sang magnificently. We were yelling at her, yay! And of course, it was empty on the soundstage, but the band, all the singers, we were just yelling at her and rooting for her because she was excellent. She sang the crap out of that song. Show day, she was just as good as she was at the dress rehearsal, and not one chair turned. Not one. And it was shocking, but it taught me a great lesson in terms of song choice. And when you have a certain sound, for instance, I will get students who have a lot of vibrato when they sing. They'll sing a lot of songs like that, and instantly you've aged yourself. And I tell people that if you're a gospel singer, you can get away with it. Not even so much a theater kid, You know, you got to back off the vibrato a bit. Even in R&B, you have to back it off. So you have to really pay attention. So you're not singing with why vibrato. Be careful of all of that. You have to really pay attention to your style, your genre. How do people sing? How do they present themselves? What's their sound? What's the vibe?
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, I have a lot of students applying for college now.
Uh-huh.
And what are your suggestions for students applying for college programs? And I know that's open-ended again. There's musical theater auditions. Tell us about MI, Musicians Institute. I love the school. I know a ton of people on your staff. What can you give them? What kind of insight can you give?
Hey, hold on. I want to go back for a second to what you
Okay.
said. I want to go back for college entrance, because a lot of times you're required to sing something classical. Okay, one of my all-time favorite things to do if you have to submit a classical piece. I love teaching hip hop kids how to sing classical, and especially if it's I would choose a song for them that feels kind of hip hop, an Italian aria, such as Il mio uh, uh, I leave out all the hip hop stuff. And you have to find the vibe that fits for them in the classical song, and they'll get it. They're like, oh, I love this tune. This tune is jamming. So, and the hardest part is to keep their physical body from actually doing that when they sing. That's the hardest part. But because there are a lot of Italian art songs that have a vibe that feels like that. So that's one of my favorite things to do, is to connect a kid that has no connection to a classical song, and finding a classical song that fits them so that they can love it and pass it on. So that's one exception. At Musicians Institute, no, let me go to theater. With theater, it becomes a different thing, because you have to prepare a song that for your entrance. So you have to figure out, you have to go down the theatrical rabbit hole of songs to find something that suits you from what particular show. There are a lot of shows that have pop music, rock music. It's not always that traditional theater where everybody sings their ballad like that. They're looking at the balcony. It's not like that so much anymore. So you can bring your pop sensibility, your rock sensibility to theater, a theatrical college. I know UCLA has a lot of theater for enrollment. MI is not a theater-based college. It's a college of contemporary music. So we go more for rock and metal, R&B, hip hop, punk, funk, K-pop. We go for the more contemporary courses. And vocal looping like Ed Sheeran does, and doing vocal effects. So that's what Musicians Institute, located in Hollywood, is all about, and that's where I'm chair. And I really love the vocal program in that I want to offer everything that a vocalist needs for contemporary music. And my newest, in addition to vocal arranging, and my newest project is voiceovers, making sure that everything vocal you can learn about at Musicians Institute.
Yeah, so what will get your attention if you are you're watching a bunch of auditions? I think usually MI, you have a video audition. It's Fly Me to the Moon, right? And then it's like Bridge Over Troubled Water. You're not doing that anymore?
Am I?
Oh no, maybe I'm confused. Is it just in person?
You had half of that correct. It is online, and it's not song specific.
Okay.
You can submit. I have you submit a match pitch, meaning play a note, sing it back, play a note, sing it back. That's a listening exercise, making sure you can sing back what you hear, because we sing with bands. Okay, so match pitch is one exercise submission. The other one is to sing a song without accompaniment. We want to hear you a cappella. Can you maintain and hear where the tonal quality is not tonal quality, so that you can keep the song in your head while you're singing it a cappella. You can hear it. The third thing you have to submit is singing with accompaniment. You can accompany yourself. You can sing to a track. You can, whatever it is. We just don't want any vocally enhanced auditions. Sing into your phone. We don't want any studio recordings, no tuning, no reverb, no effects of any kind. So that's basically your Musicians Institute audition.
Okay, and what are you looking for? What are the main things that will improve their chances of getting into the school?
For starters, the thing I look for is, dear God, sing in tune. That's my biggest deal. You gotta sing in tune. That means that you have to learn how to listen. There have been a lot of singers who need to be taught how to listen. When you find that you're out of tune a lot, that's because you're not listening to the instrumentation. You're not listening to the piano or the guitar, and you're only listening to the sound of your voice. There are a lot of singers that are guilty of that. So teachers, if you got someone that's consistently out of tune, make them learn to listen to instruments, because singers these days only listen to themselves. And I learned that on American Idol. There was a young man who said to me, Byrd, I'm having a hard time finding my first line. I can't find it after the intro. And I said, do you know that the strings are playing your vocal line in the intro? He said, there's strings on this song. No, I mean blatant strings. So the big deal that I want to pass on to instructors is teach your singers how to listen well, because the majority of them don't.
Yeah.
You can always tell when a singer is listening well because they're in tune all the time.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just looking at the time here. We're already at 3:28. So I just want to let people know, if they want to ask any more questions, now is the time to ask them, because we're going to be done in just a few minutes. So this has been truly incredible, Byrd, having you on, and so much insight in just a short amount of time. It's quite incredible.
I try to get it in.
Yeah. And then maybe we should tell our audience, these two worked together.
That's right.
Yes, for years on American Idol. Byrd was Matt's idol wife. She was the other woman in Matt's life for quite a while.
Quite a few years, and I need everyone to know that I was on American Idol from the very beginning, and as the show gained popularity, extra teams would come in, had an extra set of a vocal coach, vocal arranger, pianist arranger, had a second team, and the young man that I worked with was gone, and the music director at the time, Ricky Minor, said, Byrd, who do you want to work with? I need to get somebody to work with you. And he gave me, I said, you got any choices for me? And he gave me 2 names. And I said, I gotta have Matt Rohde. Can you find Matt Rohde for me, please? Because Matt, you and I, what did we do? Oh, what were we touring on? We were doing something.
Did we do the Idol tour? Like the very first one? I think so.
Are you MDing that?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Rohde was the MD of the first American Idol tour. And we had such a ball, and we clicked, and that's why I said I need him on this show. And even fast forward, I've been on The Voice for 8 years, and The Voice came to me and said, we need somebody, we're doing something else for another project. You got an arranger, or a pianist, a keyboard arranger, somebody, music director? I said, get Matt Rohde. Because Matt has already been working on the show as an orchestrator. Behind the scenes, I bet you didn't know that, did you? You didn't know that. But Matt Rohde works on The Voice too. He's an orchestrator on that show. I'm telling you, he's just the coolest thing. That's why I was so happy to be his idol wife all those years. And Bette said to me, you see him more than I do. And I said, I'll take good care of him. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great that you guys are still working together on The Voice, even though he doesn't really see you in person. But I don't think you're seeing anyone in person these days anyway, so.
These days. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, what this speaks to is that everyone wants to be the star. Everybody wants to have the record deal, to have the fans. What you're looking at are people, three of us are people who make a living doing what we love. We are not household names. We are not the ones that are with our names on the billboard. We are the ones who are functioning hugely and largely and greatly in the music industry. And you can have a career in the music industry without trying to be the front guy and being so rejected and, oh, they don't want me, so I'm going to do something else. Get your music education, ladies and gentlemen. Your music education will speak louder than anything and take you farther than anything ever will. So learn how to read music, learn how to play an instrument, singers. Just learn everything you can about music, because there's always something to learn. And you'd be surprised at your value and your worth to television, to artists, to bands, to movies, to everything. So being on the scenes is a big deal. And I know I can speak for Matt and for myself and for Beth to say, we are honored to be able to make a living doing what we love. And people remember us for our diligence, us being prepared. We deliver on time. We make deadlines. We use our creativity. I mean, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
You want to chime in and add on to some of that stuff?
Yeah, and that's a whole other hour of conversation. All that stuff. You're talking about the work ethic and the actual work part of being in the music industry, which everyone's so focused on. I'm going to be the star that there's an actual it's really hard work, and if you can realize that early on and get your skills together, you'll be in really good, better shape.
And it doesn't matter how talented you are if you don't show up and you're not there, you're not on time, you're not doing the work, you're not prepared.
Yeah. Yes, be prepared. Be prepared no matter what. And while we are in this lockdown, guess what you should be doing? Practicing. Mm-hmm. Practicing to be better. Practice, everybody has what I call music gaps. You know what your music gaps are. If it's scales, if it's modes, no matter what it is, if it's singing, if it's expanding your range, vocalists, you have to make sure that you work on it. This is a perfect time to be a better you.
And if you're auditioning for college, a big thing that's come up is on the application, people are going to ask, what did you do during the pandemic? Did you check out, give up, get lazy, play video games, or did you create really amazing things? Did you learn how to play an instrument? Did you get better? Did you practice a lot? Did you learn Final Cut Pro, which many people are learning now? What did you do? So there's a huge advantage if you're the type of person that takes advantage of having this time and making something of it. Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
I want to thank everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Byrd.
Thanks for coming on. And anybody out there who has additional comments, please feel free to leave them there, and we'll do our best to get back to them. And if you have any questions, we'll try our best to answer. Okay, and we hope to see everybody next week for Audition. Thanks again, Byrd. Have a great week to you and to everybody out there.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. I'm very honored to be here. It's about Coast Music, ladies and gentlemen, and Musicians Institute. Check us all out.
All right. Take care.
Bye. Bye.